I still can't believe you tricked James into staying at the mine. Ah well, we've been there since the crack of dawn, and he conveniently showed up with more trucks for us looking spotless. He'll have your bunker for this. He's only gonna be there a few hours, it won't hurt him. But in reality, I asked Sir Charles if he could cover for us so I could inspect the line. You cheeky devil. He's been a little too big for his buffers lately. And this job's kept me away from maintaining the railway longer than I like. Fingers will point at me if something happens because of negligence. Trust me, Morgan. I'm sure the railway's just fine. You and the workmen do a great job. Thank you, Shy. You reckon we were sisters in a previous life, given how similar we are? I can tell you didn't spend time with your actual sisters, because it's only a matter of time before tensions flare. I take your point. Now that I think about it, I remember Sadie and Sophia venting to each other once before you arrived. I remember Harris telling me about that. At least you weren't there. When those electric engines get furious, you can almost see lightning bolts coming from their pantographs. I also heard there were some colorful words said. Aye, well, it started when Sadie... Oh, Christ. Ugh. Here comes Miss Swears. Good heavens, look at you two. And a good afternoon to you too, Daisy. It's honestly dreadful you to allow yourselves to look in such a state. For your information, Daisy, we've been clearing out the old lead mine south of Tidmouth for the past week, so we haven't had time to get a washdown. That just makes it worse. A proper lady would make sure to get a washdown as soon as possible. Twice a day, if need be. Twice a day? Blow it out your radiator, love. We don't have time to get a washdown every day, let alone two. And where do you get off calling us improper ladies? Well, you see, darling, there's a certain standard we must meet. Oh, really? Last I recall, your standard resulted in Percy and Toby having to take your single milk van for a month. Yes, but Sir Charles was gracious enough to have it painted in my colours. Now we look splendid going down the branch. I guess we'll have to paint the rest of the rolling stock in your colours because that's still the only thing you seem to pull. That's not true. Just the other day I had to take an extra coach with me as there were many passengers wanting to travel to Ulfstead. And Toby told me you kicked up a right fit when asked to do so. Where do you get this information from, you little maintenance engine? You just said the word yourself. There's benefits from doing this job. And that's another thing. You shouldn't take such joy in that job. I'd be humiliated. First of all, you weren't built for maintenance trains. And second, is the line on the Farquhar branch smooth and free of debris? It is. Well, you're welcome. If it wasn't for the hard work me and the lads put in, your line would be unserviceable. You really do have a lot of nerve, Daisy. I have lost my nerve? My dear engine, I'm trying to help you understand that appearance is important. You wouldn't want the guys to see you all filthy like that. Hello, Shy. Morgan. You ladies look nice today. Why, thank you, Thomas. How's the cleanup at the old lead mine going? Great, we're looking to start pulling the rails up Friday. Good riddance. The coffee pots always complained about how dangerous that place was. It's about time that line was ripped up. With the way you talk about it, you'd think that was the same one on your branch line. Given how often Percy has been going down there, you'd think it's also being ripped up. But he won't say what they're doing. It's a mystery. Anyways, I must be off. Be careful if you go near the old mine, Thomas. You might hear a wild James. I reckon you had something to do with it.
Maybe.
That sounds about right. Alright, ladies, take care.
Bye, Thomas. Jealous, Daisy?
Jealous? Of course I'm not jealous. Thomas is lower class, so it makes sense he converses with engines of similar ranks.
That's a lot of talk for an engine that's supposed to be under Toby's wing right now. And I'd watch what you say about Thomas. You are running on his branch line.
For now. Once Toby's done helping me, I'll become the best diesel rail car there is. And Sir Charles will be so pleased with me, he'll reward me with this branch line.
Okay, now you're just being delusional. Thomas earned that branch line through hard work and determination.
And ironically enough, Thomas decided to join Mr. Grint and his family for breakfast is why I'm here.
That wasn't his fault. The firelighter messed with his controls.
Didn't he mention the day before he wanted to go off without his driver?
It was unfortunate timing. And I don't see how it's ironic. You were freshly built and needed a place to work, and an opening just so happened to be here.
This is just pathetic. You don't want this proper lady to have her moment. You girls will never understand what it's like to be valued and looked up to.
Daisy, any one of those scrap engines at the ironworks has more value than you.
What? What?
And if you're so sure about your own performance, I could tell Sir Charles you want to handle the maintenance work on the branch line.
Why, you little... Okay, what's going on here?
Toby, your apprentice has been acting out of line lately.
What happened?
She came into the yard and started complaining about how we look, and saying we were improper ladies.
Daisy, is this true? So what if it is? Daisy? I'm sorry, Toby, but these two have already ruined my day. Daisy, come back! Ugh. What was that about?
This isn't the first time she's looked down on us, or turned her nose up at just the sight of us. Like I was saying, she was disgusted that we don't care about how we look, and started going off about us not being proper ladies.
Well, you ladies are proper engines. And don't ever let another engine convince you otherwise.
Well, we seemed to do that. And she obviously didn't like it.
I could tell. Your voices traveled all the way to the station. But I wouldn't get too worked up over this. Daisy's a young engine, and there's still many things she needs to learn that took us decades to understand.
The only thing is, I don't feel like putting up with this for decades.
And you won't. I'll be having a talk with her.
Toby, you're a great friend, but I'm not sure that's going to work. Besides, aren't you the wise engine that lets the young ones learn the hard way, then laugh at them when showing them how it's done?
Oh, you girls know me too well. But I'll be making an exception, especially since Sir Charles suggested this arrangement.
Whatever you got planned, do it sooner than later.
Good news, old girl. The work at the lead mine has been postponed until the weather gets better.
I don't blame him. It's really bad out there. It'd be crazy to pull up those rails in this storm.
Someone's gonna have to go out there and get that train of scrap.
You go get it. It's your turn.
You could use a wash now.
We going to rock, paper, scissors for it?
Fine. 3, 2, 1...
Scissors!
Paper. Shit!
Have fun, Harry. Come on. Almost. Gotcha. Phew.
Thank you, Morgan.
Don't mention it.
And please don't. Gordon wouldn't let me hear the end of it if he knew that little tree derailed me.
I wouldn't worry. And be thankful that was the worst of it. The lad said you're still able to run.
You're right. And thank you again. Although I'm still not happy about that trick the other day.
I know.
Right, that's this mess cleaned up. We've just received word that another tree has fallen on the line near Henry's tunnel.
Feels like that's all this storm is causing. Alright then. Be careful, James.
The same to you. Other than a few branches, the line has been cleared for you all to start today's operations. Thank you, Harvey. And Daisy, even after I leave, be careful heading down the branch. Storms don't always show their effect until long after they pass.
Yes, sir.
Good. As for the yard here, Butch is being dispatched to help. He'll be a great help. Anything else we should know of before you leave? Unfortunately, not that I'm aware of. I spent the night here on the western side of the island, and thanks to some fallen telephone lines, we're cut off from everywhere east of Kildane. So I couldn't tell you all what Mickey, Jason, or Morgan are up to right now. Well, hopefully everything will be sorted soon.
Agreed.
Alright, now that's been settled, I must be off. Take care, everyone.
Bye, Harvey. Shoo, look at this mess.
Aye, it's gonna take a lot of cleaning up to get this place back in order.
Well, you boys have fun with that. My passengers can't be kept waiting.
You think she took anything you said last night into consideration? If she didn't, she'll use the storm as an excuse for not hearing me.
That sounds like her.
Were you actually being genuine with Morgan and Cheyanne yesterday, Thomas?
I was.
Judging from what I heard and saw over at the station, you completely ignored Daisy. So I was wondering if you did that to get under her paint. That part was to mess with her. I would have said the same to Morgan and Shy had Daisy not been antagonizing them. When I heard what she was saying to them as I arrived in the yard, I thought, why not add to the conversation?
Or in that case, subtract.
Same thing. But the girls are two hard-working engines. I just wish Daisy would see that. I reckon she'll learn sooner than later. That's how things tend to pan out on this island.
Good grief. Where's that little maintenance engine? Harvey didn't do anything to this line.
Calm down, Daisy. Harvey could only do so much, and Morgan's just the one engine. She probably won't be up here for a while.
A while ain't going to cut it. What about her girlfriend?
She doesn't have one. Oh. Cheyenne's her best friend.
They might as well be dating then. They're both a disgrace. Not caring about their looks.
Funny how you talk about how clean they need to be, but once something's wrong with the line, you're desperate Morgan hops to it. And I'm still not happy with how you spoke to her and Cheyanne on Wednesday.
Was I wrong? They looked hideous.
Their job involved a lot of dirty work, and they clearly didn't have the time to care about their looks.
Oh, I knew you wouldn't understand.
I wish you understand that not everyone is high maintenance as you.
I'd like to hear you say that to your wife.
Joke's on you. She agrees with me. But you better watch yourself, Daisy, before you cross a line. Puh. I never cross a line. Daisy, look out! What? Oh, crap. Oh no. No, 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 no. This can't be happening. Look at me. Great heavens. Daisy, are you alright? Of course I'm not alright. I look horrendous. Oh gosh, Terrence, help me, please. Daisy, I don't think you've noticed, but you've clearly left the rails under all that mud. We need a crane. Can't you try something? I don't want anyone to see me like this. I'm sorry, Daisy. The alarm's already been raised, and by the looks of it, I guess you passed the signal before it turned red. Help should be here soon. What about the passengers? We'll go back and call up to Farquhar. I guess there's nothing else to do. Thank you, Terrence. No problem. Well, well, well. Looks like we've both been shown up by this tunnel. Yes, but at least your incident didn't involve dirty mud. Lighten up, Daisy. This just means Morgan is coming to your rescue. Look what we have here, lads. The highly sprung diesel railcar who cares so much about being a proper lady gets stuck in a mudslide. We better keep you away from Cheyanne, or she'll think you're a fresh pile of scrap for the ironworks. What? I'm not a pile of scrap. Get me out of here. So are you sorry about all the things you said to us? Nice to see you haven't lost your touch. I've learned a lot over the years taking care of this railway. And I hope you never stop. You're doing a great job as usual. Thanks. Alright, that's all the passengers. Let's go. Right. Take care of Daisy. She can be a handful. Yes. Pardon? Yes. Morgan, I'm sorry for everything I've said. You and Cheyanne do a lot for this railway. Well, you especially. I can't deny you and the workmen do a great job keeping the line in top condition. Thank you. You can hardly say that right now given all this cleaning up thanks to the storm. True, but I know you'll make it look like the storm never came. It'll take some time. The mainline suspension bridge collapsed into the River Hoo last night. Alright. Well, as I was saying, I'm not asking for you to forgive me, Morgan, but I just hope you accept my apology. As long as you do the same to Cheyanne, I don't have a problem accepting your apology. And with one final effort, Rheneas brought his train into the station, the passengers got out, thanked him for bringing them home, and Mr. Hugh called him a gallant old engine. Wow, you certainly tell intriguing stories, Skarloey. Ah, well, I think it's important young ones learn the actions of those that came before, and inspire them to never give up, even when the going's rough. Maybe I should have treated Toby and the girls with more respect. That being said, I do miss Rheneas. However, they're expecting him home next year. How come the works here couldn't do the job? Because we aren't equipped with all the machinery needed, which is why the Coldy Fell is planning to send 2 of their engines back to Switzerland for overhauls. There's talks of upgrading this place, but who knows when that will be. Until then, you lads have mastered giving us a good washout. Ah yes, I guess that answers my question on how you feel, Skarloey. Well, who knew one batch of bad coal would have stopped everything up? I guess that is one benefit of us diesels. We don't have to worry about bad fuel. I wouldn't be too sure, Daisy. Harry and Bert took on some contaminated fuel last month, and it royally screwed their engines up. Oh, hello, Cheyanne. Daisy. Hi, Skarloey. Good evening, Miss Cheyanne. How's everything at the ironworks? Busy as usual, even before the suspension bridge collapsed, but the lads will do a quality job forging new parts. Good to hear, and send my regards to them when you return. Those new rails by Glennock are the smoothest we've ever received. You saying y'all received bad ones? Not at all. I just didn't believe they could get any better, and I was humbly proven wrong. Well then, I'll pass the compliments on. Cheyanne, if I could have a moment. Sorry for interrupting, Skarloey. Oh, it's no problem. Yes? I'd like to apologize for my behavior toward yourself and Morgan. It was unnecessary and completely uncalled for. You do a fantastic job at the ironworks in collecting the scrap trains around the island. Most engines are so reluctant to perform such a task that we are fortunate to have you around. Not to mention keeping the twins in line. Well, that was certainly a surprise. I'm proud of you, Daisy. I'll consider accepting your apology, but you must act upon those words. You have my word, with Skarloey as my witness. You could use some R&R, MJ. No, and I still need to inspect the Ballyhoo branch, since the mainline trains are being rerouted that way. Tell you what, I'll take the workmen, and you get some rest here. Trust me, sis, you need it. I'd accept the offer. You've been at it for the past 24 hours. Alrighty, thank you, Sha. No problem.